going to be exploring Sheffield Island Lighthouse.
Let me go!
Damaged the island. There was some flooding in the lighthouse. The husband in that picture.
You saw it. You can't see me. Well, I know where you are.
See the jellyfish? Wow, yeah.
No, that was the horseshoe crab shell.
Oh.
They haven't changed for millions of years.
This part of the beach is very...
Alright guys, so as we make our way out to Sheffield Island this morning, I'll be giving you guys a tour of the harbor and pointing out interesting things that we'll see along the way. So I want to first get you started by getting you guys familiar with some nautical terms that I'll be using during the tour. So first off, this side of the boat is known as the starboard side, a great building that reads the Oyster House. So this building used to be the headquarters of a pretty big shellfishing company that was located in Norwalk, known as the Hillard Bloom Oyster Company. After the original owner passed away, his two sons relocated the company, and now these great buildings are an apartment complex, and the apartments here go for about $8,000 a month. Ashota Yacht Club was founded in 1886, which makes it the oldest private yacht club in Connecticut that still runs. Great rack storage showcases the 3 different ways that you can store your boat here in Norwalk. So the first way is through what's called rack storage, which is what you see up there. That just involves having your boat lifted by a forklift onto a rack, like the one you see up there. They store those out on the front, as you see, and as well as inside that big gray warehouse building. The second method of storing your boat is through what's called slip docks. And that's all the boats that you see along here that are just tied down to the sides of these docks with ropes. And then the third and final method is through what's called mooring. And you'll be able to see that a bit better once we get further up here. That's basically all these boats up ahead in the river that are tied down to buoys, which are anchored down in the middle of the river. And this is not a very convenient method, since you would obviously have to take another launch boat out first to get to your boat. But it is the least expensive option, so some sailors do utilize this method. Park. And the reason all these houses are so modern and nice is because all the original homes in this area were destroyed in Hurricane Sandy back in 2012, and so they've all been rebuilt since then. The only remaining piece of construction in this area from before the hurricane hit is that gazebo at the end there with the blue roof. Off our port side here, we're currently going by Shore and Country, which is a very nice beach club on the end of East Norwalk here. This green lawn area out front is where they host a lot of really big events, including some weddings. We've definitely photobombed a lot of their events when we're going by. And then this large brown building that's coming into view in just a second is their main clubhouse. For that is a lot of times we'll try to register their boats under different countries to try to avoid paying U.S. taxes on them. And the reason it's called calf pasture beach is because around that time a lot of cows would graze around this area, and back then tides were more severe and sea level was lower, so during low tide the cows that wander around here would walk around into the nearby islands, and when the tide would come back up they'd get stranded out there. So there was this pair of brothers that made a business out of going out on their boat, collecting the cattle and bringing them back to shore, back to their owners, for the price of a nickel each. It ended up being a pretty successful business in the Norwalk Harbor. For the first 27 years after it was built, it was manually staffed, and in 1933 it switched to automatic operation, and that's how it's been running ever since. And today the light source is an LED light which runs on solar power. The lighthouse also holds a bit of World War II history, as during the war the U.S. Navy would station guards out there to keep an eye out for German U-boats that may have been heading toward New York. What used to be mid-recent power plant. So for many years this power plant powered the smokestacks on North Four Long Island, which are the 4 smokestacks that you can kind of see way out there on Long Island. And for a variety of reasons, including contamination of the nearby water and some damage that it took during Hurricane Sandy, the power plant was decommissioned in 2013. And ever since then it's kind of just been sitting here. But just a couple years ago, it was purchased by a very wealthy couple who planned to have the whole area turned into a public park. So that big blue building up there is planning to be turned into an event space, a museum, a few other things. There's going to be a pretty nice beach along the coast here, some pretty big fields, a playground for the kids, some pathways. Should be a very nice park once it's finished. In the 1800s, its main purpose was for a harbor pilot to be stationed out there smuggling and selling of alcohol, and that's how it got the name Tavern Island. Billy Rose was known to host really big, extravagant, lavish parties out on this island, and some celebrities such as Marilyn Monroe were to come out to these parties. Billy Rose was a pretty interesting guy. Instead of having guard dogs on the island, he had guard peacocks. And he also got married 6 times to 5 different women. And every time he got married, he would have a Greek-style statue of his wife erected on the island. And every time he got divorced, he would have the head of the statue cut off and thrown into the water. So at one point, there was a line of headless statues on the island. We own that house, that's private property, so we're not allowed to go in there. But you guys can definitely walk around it and walk along this beach here. And then the third owners are us, the Seaport Association. So we own the lighthouse that's coming into view just a second here, as well as some of the surrounding area. And we're going to be having 2 tours of that lighthouse, one at 11:15 and one at 11:45. So if you're interested in seeing the inside of the lighthouse, just meet outside the front steps next to that curved pine tree at 11:15 or 11:45. There's some nature trails in the islands, kind of this wooded area, but if you do choose to go on those, I would definitely recommend putting on bug spray, since we have had some picks out there before.
Ready to walk up the plank? So hold on to the railing, okay?
Good morning. How you guys doing? I'm doing great. On today's vlog, you're going to be exploring Sheffield Island Lighthouse. This is how the beach looks like. It's very rocky. There are a lot of bugs, mosquitoes, so you need to apply lots of bug spray. We used a ferry to get here. It's seasonal. It runs from May to September. For an adult, it goes for $45, and for a child, it goes for $35. 3 hours for the whole round trip. 1 hour, 30 minutes of you exploring the island.
I want to play tag.
What?
Let me go!
The beach is very rocky. You need to be careful while walking around. So Sheffield Island Lighthouse was bought by Captain Robert in the year 1804. He bought this land to establish a farm, and later on the daughter took over, where she raised her 12 kids, and they used to do a lot of farming. So their cattle used to swim to the nearest islands. So you're going to learn much more about the lighthouse in a few.
The water from the island all the way to the mainland would freeze over, and the ice would be thick enough that they could bring the blocks over on sleds, which was pulled by oxen back then. And so that's how the outside was constructed. And the lighthouse was operational until 1902, and that's when it was shut down and replaced by Green Sledge Lighthouse, which is the lighthouse nearby. Damage to the island, there was some flooding in the lighthouse, but it was still able to be fixed up. And then there's some other pictures in that room just from around the 1980s, before Seaport bought it over and fixed it up. That's good. Right here, this was the living room or family room. And the main thing I like to point out here is that picture right on top of the piano. That is the original couple who lived in the lighthouse. The husband in that picture, he was the lightkeeper. Yeah. So this was the dining room, and obviously they would have had a much bigger table with more chairs to seat everyone, but this is what we put in place. They had a private teacher who stayed out with them year-round and lived on the lighthouse with them. Wow. Since the kids lived out here, they wanted to make sure they still could get an education, and so yeah, this was used as a classroom for them. And they were taught basic subjects like math, English, history, but they also were taught skills like how to fish and how to sew. So this kitchen was not originally part of the lighthouse. It was about built about 20 years later. And before that, all the cooking was done out in the cottage right out here. But eventually they decided they wanted a kitchen as part of their actual house. So this was added on. And as I mentioned, most of the furniture is not original, but one of the few pieces of original furniture is this table right here. So most of the time this table was used for cooking and just as a kitchen counter. But before that, it was actually used as the birthing table for the children.
Oh.
Rubble right here.
It's a lovely way to make you feel.
No hospitals or doctors on the island, obviously, so it all happened right here, and the teacher had to help deliver them. So yeah, a little more than she signed up for.
Yeah, exactly. Looks nice and comfy, doesn't it?
Place now. The water down there used to be fresh water, but it's been contaminated over the years for a variety of reasons. So, but yeah, back then that was like their main water source.
I don't know, I should spread that up right here.
Where the parents slept, and this is where their bed would have been. So back then they had a couple of outhouses nearby near the lighthouse, which has since been torn down. But there were no bathrooms on the actual lighthouse. So if they really had to go in the middle of the night or something and didn't want to walk out, they would just use a chamber pot like that one and just toss it out the window when it filled up. And this metal piece up here used to be on the kitchen. That was basically their chimney system. So smoke and everything from downstairs would come up through here, and they would open up the windows, and that's how they ventilated the place. So definitely did things pretty different back then. And you'll see a couple more.
That's where we are. We're right here. Seek later. If you can get a good view of the lighthouse, that red and white lighthouse. You saw it. You can't see me. What if the bees come? Well, that know where you are. So the bees they take you. One's got your foot, one's got your hand, and then oh, there goes Molly.
With telescope, you're able to see a closer view of the lighthouse and also the homes on the shore. The Norwalk Highlands. So we are Sheffield. There are other islands.
Oh, the heat's building up though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, these geese are everywhere.
Protect yourself away from the tips.
Yeah, if you stay on the trail, you're pretty
Yeah,
safe because the ticks don't like this kind of stuff. It's cooler here. See that butterfly?
Yeah, the monarch butterfly.
That's their food source. It's a good thing we made the boat. I thought we were going to miss it. That was crazy.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I left so much earlier than they recommended.
I think it's because of the traffic.
Yeah, traffic's bad. It's amazing if that park ever gets developed.
Yeah. Yeah. People have a lot of money to buy that.
Knock down a power plant in the United States, contaminated soil.
Mm.
Contaminated soil all has to be trucked out. It's so expensive. Like there was a pier to it. It's gone now. Okay, so oh, the crumbling rent of a mansion.
Oh, the bags.
Those are the ones you have to watch out for. See that one on the stick there?
Mm.
That's a white-faced hornet. Those they bite you. It's very painful.
Yeah.
That one there.
See this other fish? Wow, yeah.
Dinner or lunch. Smell that It's better.
Yeah.
Breeze. See, this is the horseshoe crab shell. Yeah, this one turned over. Remember from Norwalk, their blood is blue.
Oh,
They haven't changed for millions of years. They're not that thick. Look like leather.
see the seagull. Let's drop something.
Well, you know what they do? They catch clams. They drop them on the rocks.
Oh,
That's how they eat them. Just dropping it.
thank you for watching. See you on the next vlog. Please subscribe, like the video, share it, and leave a comment. In a couple of minutes, we'll be leaving, be boarding the cruise right behind me. Oh. This part of the beach is very rocky. Yeah.
Okay. No, take my thing.
Okay.
I need a pizza. Yes, I'm going here. Wow, don't take any of my things, okay?
Promise. Promise.
It's so far away you can't tell it's
Oh, the two
Scott.
points of
Come here a second. You're so far away you can't really tell it's you, but look.
you grow up, you get tiny as a child, okay? You need to do this after you get tiny, okay?
After I get tiny, okay, I'll remember. I put it in my brain. When I'm tiny, I'll do it.
I need to help you,
Okay, you
luxury boats here on the Long Island Sound. Long Island Sound is an inlet of the Atlantic Ocean. So at the farthest end, so there are others over there.
There you go. You like it?
Whee!
That was good?
Yeah, I'm going in the tunnel now. I'm in the queen. I want to get up here now.
Does that lantern fly down?
I want to get up.
Remember, I was telling Nancy, remember from the Maritime Center, they have blue blood? Okay, Molly. Goodbye, peace.
Come here, let me hold your hand. Let me hold your hand, man.
See the big nest?
Dad, you'll have stairs.
It's a big one, huh? You gotta go, Molly, because the boat's gonna leave, okay?
Time to board the cruise.
You finished it all? Last we'll walk out.
Where are you going, Dad?
Strawberry still your favorite? Strawberry favorite? Color cake?
This one is called a sailing.
Oh, it's fishing. Miley is fishing.
Up,
Could be.
Dad, you have a flag? That's not our boat. That's our boat. We're here. Here. Daddy, here.
Almost.
Why would you like the red one?
They should have just done a permanent bridge as opposed to a lifting thing.
You want to sleep
You
here?
know, lifting is just going to fail.
Crab ice cream. Yeah, the sweet hash meals.
It will be.
Cheers.